Bro, I don't need your presentation material. I'm just trying to have a conversation. I don't want to open PowerPoint or rubbish like that. This is something I hear all the time. And today I want to answer two questions for you. Number one is, do I need a presentation deck if I just want to converse? And number two is, dude, why are you wearing your Kung Fu robes? Huh? So that's what I want to address for you. Stick around.
Everybody was Kung Fu fighting. Those kids were fast as lightning.
Hey, welcome to Lead Loud. My name is Richard Mulholland. I'm the founder and chief evangelist of Presentation Powerhouse Missing Link. Now, we always try to answer questions for you around presenting, public speaking, sales, communications, leadership on the channel. And this week's no different. And the question I want to answer for you this week is, why do we need to develop full presentation? You know, do I even need a presentation? And this came out of a client meeting I was doing last week. So we were working through the meeting, we were chatting, and we got to the point about doing the work for their team on presenting. And the one team member said, hey, but listen, I don't know if I need a full deck or if I need to get trained in the deck because, you know, I just present conversationally anyway, so I'm kind of happy just to wing it. And here's the thing, and this ties into the reason that I'm wearing my robes here today. So for most of my adult life, I've done martial arts, various different ones. I started off doing karate, then for just over a decade on and off, I did Kung Fu, which I'm doing now again. I did kickboxing, I still do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I train in all of these things. And there's something that they almost all have in common, is that they make you practice things that you may not use in that way. So in Kung Fu, it's called a Kuen, right? And you can all picture those scenes of the Shaolin monks just jumping, moving all together, going through the motions, going through the motions. It like feels something militaristic, and people look at it and they say, but why are they even doing that? It's like a dance. How can that possibly help? In the case of like karate, it's called a kata. They go through these kata, and they do their kiai and their big noises and things, and they go through all of these motions. Heck, even in something like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, because people always say to me, oh, but this Kung Fu and karate stuff, that's not relevant today. Even in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, they train you, for example, in Grace University, where I train, they train you in these combatives, these 36 principles that you have to learn step by step by step by step, so that when you're faced with a situation, you're ready. And that's the key. The key is readiness. The reason you do your Kuen or your kata or your combatives principles is because they're trying to create situations, a full-length situation, in which you're learning these individual movements that you'll be able to use if ever you're called upon to do so. And this is exactly the same in a presentation. You see, when you go through the motions of preparing a presentation to deliver, planning through a customer meeting from the minute they start the call, because that's when the presentation begins, right? Not just when you're showing the deck, until the final moment where you ask for the sale or whatever it is you're doing. When you work through every single step of that and you work out what you want to get out of each one, giving them a reason to care, to believe, telling them what they need to know, telling them what they need to do. If that sounds like Greek to you, you should definitely watch our Action Framework series. But when you're going through that, it is those little steps that prepare you for when you're just having a random conversation. Because even me, if I'm doing a public talk, you know, a professional gig, then I'll absolutely be using my slides. But in the average sales meeting on Zoom, I may use slides once, twice, 3 times, and just at key moments when I need them. Client asks a question, boom, here I bring up the content and I'm ready to go. The reason I'm able to do that is because I practice the entire sequence. So I can be listening to somebody and then hear something and just deliver a story. You know, a recent case in point for that was that I was in Santorini. I was doing a gig there, and one of the speakers actually before me, the tech failed while he was on stage, and he's quite a high profile person. We wanted to make sure they had a great chance. So while they were fixing the tech to the side, I jumped onto the stage and I was able to share a 5-minute story that was relevant, that wasn't necessarily in my keynote that was coming later, and I was able to hold the audience's attention. And the reason I was able to do that is that I had prepared, I had done my Kuen, I had done my kata, I had gone through the motions. You're not preparing using every word of your presentation because that's how you'll necessarily deliver it. You're preparing so you're ready to deliver any part of it at any time when you're in front of a customer. The idea of winging it is broken. It is an unfair advantage if you are prepared to deliver a message the way it's deserved. So, my call to action for you this week is very, very simple. Take the time to structure and to plan out your presentation, to go through that entire 30-minute sequence, and make sure you have it dialed in. Make sure you know how to do your stories and nail your segues and get all of these things going. Because when you're just called upon to give that one punch, that one strike, you will be ready if you've done the preparation. So that's it for me. Until next time, lead loud, do martial arts.